everybody. How are y'all doing today? Welcome to my very first podcast. I know, right? It's so cool. On this podcast, we are going to be talking about love, sex, relationships, dating, everything. We're going to be super open, no holds bar. Let's just have a conversation about it, okay? I'd like to start by saying that this podcast is for mature audiences only. So that is millennial or higher. Gen Z, I don't know what to tell you. Go make a TikTok and then do your homework. This is a bit too explicit for you, okay? So in this series, I'm going to have one or two guests on, and we're going to talk about their experiences in love, sex, relationships, and dating. And I'd also love to hear from you guys. So please follow me on here, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. Let me know your opinion. Let me know what topics you want to hear about. You can find all of my social media links in my link tree on my Instagram page. That is Cherry Love Official X. Make sure to type it all in because I'm usually shadow banned. Because Instagram hates boobies. Don't know why, but you know. Well, now that I've got all the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into our first episode. And because it's the first episode, I thought, why not talk about firsts? You know, everyone has them. You know, first crush, first kiss, first date, first time we had sex, you know, all that really awkward stuff nobody actually likes talking about. Well, we're going to talk about it today. I was literally just thinking about my first crush today. His name was Joseph. Oh, I know. And I was 11 and he was 12, and he didn't like me back because I was a fat goth. Yeah. Unrequited love. Thinking back on it, I was actually obsessed with him. Like, I stole a photo of him that was in like one of the school album things. They were just kind of left out. Like, I proper stole a photo of him. Oh, that's so creepy. Why was I so creepy? Maybe that's why you didn't like me. It wasn't anything to do with like the fact I was just a fat loner goth. I was just creepy. I really must like Facebook stalk him to see how he turned out. In for a creepy penny, in for a creepy pound. Like that's the thing about first crushes though. Like you get so consumed by them because you're young and like this is the first crush. And then you look back and you go, what? What are you doing? You weirdo. Like you do the stupidest things around your first crush. You really do. Do you remember when in the back of your notebooks you draw like the little heart and your initials in it because like you were meant to be, okay? Like this was a big deal. This is your crush, okay? Like obviously they're gonna marry you because you're perfect for each other. God, we were so sad. Like, do kids still do that, or is it all just like emojis and like TikToks? Like, what do they do now? So after Joseph had rejected me, I decided I didn't want boys anymore because boys were dumb. I needed a man. So that's when I decided I was going to marry Mark from Westlife. And everybody told me, oh, he's the gay one. He's obviously the gay one. And I was like, no, don't be so stupid. He's not gay, okay? He's going to totally marry me. I follow him on Instagram now. Him and his husband have two very beautiful little girls. Those were my very tragic first crushes. Now let's move on to my very tragic first kiss. So my first kiss was when I was 13. It was with a boy called James. We had gone to primary school together, so like we knew each other pretty well. And you know, classic story, we were drinking in a shed with the rest of our friends, and it just happened. Yeah, you heard correctly. I was drinking in a shed at 13 because that's rural Ireland. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. I actually don't know if this is a flashback or PTSD, but we had gotten like a big case of WKD Blue. Yeah, a drink of preteens. So like I had gotten pretty drunk because I was 13 and not meant to be drinking. And so we kind of just ended up kissing. I say kissing, it was not that civilized. In my country, we call it shifting. We shifted the face off each other. So, like, fun fact, James was also my first hand job. Now, just to make it absolutely clear, in case there's any youngsters listening, 13 is not an appropriate age to get drunk and give hand jobs. That's what your 20s are for. You know, looking back, I'm starting to understand why my mom yelled at me so much and why I had a curfew. Now, I know that all sounded really bad, but compared to the girls I went to school with and my best friend, I was a freaking saint. Like, halo around my head, I was well behaved, comparatively. Like, standalone, yeah, no, that was pretty bad. But comparatively, not that bad. Never got pregnant. Not a lot of girls from my school can say that. So, you know, like, it's funny. I had my first kiss and the other thing at 13, but I didn't actually go on my first proper date until like my 20s. It's crazy. You don't really go out on dates as a like young teen. I actually think it's kind of a good thing to leave dates and dating till your 20s because if you're finding them off Tinder or another dating app, you really need to be able to drink beforehand. I mean, Lord only knows how many bad first dates I've actually had. Well, no, actually, I do. All of them. Pretty much all of them. Oh, I've had like one good first date, which led to a second date and a third date. And then we dated for like a month. And then he dumped me because, and I quote, there's just no spark. Funny how it took him a month to figure that out, but only 3 days after we had slept together. Fuck you, Matthew. Seriously. Fuck you. You ruined my one good date story. Now I don't have any good first date stories. Although I do remember one particularly bad first date. And this is the thing about dating and dating apps. People can make themselves look so normal with a good picture and a well-worded bio. It's scary. So like, he seemed really normal, right? Like John Everyman, salt of the earth. Like, yeah, okay, let's go for a date. We met for a coffee date. So like, he turned up and he had a top knot and the teeth of a very heavy methamphetamine user. And it'd been so long since I had been out on a date, I just went, well, maybe there's a good reason. There wasn't. I should have just ran. So, like, no exaggeration, but within the first 10 minutes of him sitting down, he tells me about the stomach ulcer that almost killed him and that his younger brother was the product of his mom having an affair. Like, what do you say back to that? That's polite and will get you away in seconds. Like, maybe it's just me, but I don't think you should talk about your mom's affair on the first date. Especially not within like the first 10 minutes. So I stayed for like 40 minutes because that's polite. And I thought that's enough time for whoever he has locked in his attic to get out and go get help. This is like the division in dating apps. Like men go, oh, I hope she's not ugly. And women go, oh, I hope he's not a serial killer. Like a first date after matching with someone on Tinder, a man will send like a picture of her to like his friends, be like, oh, hey, this is her. Women send dossiers. We're like, this is his name, age, location. I found his Facebook. This is his number. This is his WhatsApp. This is his Snapchat. This is his Instagram. If I go missing, track him. There's two things a woman plans for a first date with someone she doesn't know. Her outfit and her exit plan. I mean, first dates are tricky. You never know who's actually crazy. Like, firsts are crazy. You never know if they're going to be a mistake or not. You're like, am I going to regret this? Like, it's wild. Like, having sex for the first time, we make such a huge deal about it. And we never know if we're going to regret it or not. And like, fun fact about me, it took me 3 times to try and lose my virginity. Yeah. Third time's the charm. Well, not really, because I really regret the person I actually slept with. And like, I did everything right. We were a couple. We were together 4 months. We were committed. We were both sober, no drugs, no nothing. I decided, he said, take a few days to think about it. Did, still went through with it. And I regret ever meeting him, sleeping with him, the whole lot. Like, I would rather still be a virgin than to have lost it to him. Let me tell you about the first time I unsuccessfully tried to lose my virginity, because it still haunts me to this day. It was with a friend of my brother's. Yeah, shouldn't have gone there. Did though. Really shouldn't have. So, like, we're going to play a little game as I tell this story called Count the Red Flags. So, like, we'd been texting for ages behind everyone's back because that was a big secret. Red flag number 1. So we decided, right, I'm a virgin, he's a virgin. Let's just, like, we're going to do it. Okay, we're gonna lose it to each other. It's gonna be cool. It wasn't. Let me just like set the very romantic scene. Young, fresh-faced 18-year-old me, ready to go. I skip class to go down to his. I get there. We go in. It is disgusting. It smells of BO, old stale beer, and weed. I go in anyway. Why? I have no fucking idea. So we go up to his room. Proudly displayed on his windowsill is a pyramid of old beer cans. The bed sheets, non-existent. His clothes, thrown over a rail he had robbed from Primark when he had worked there. Red flag. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. So I push forward. Why? I don't know. I was 18 and dumb. So, conversation as follows. Joe. His name isn't really Joe, but for the purposes of this story, we're just going to call him Joe. So, Joe. Hey. Me. Hey. Joe. So, you want to just get started? Me. Yeah. So then I kiss him. Oh, I know. I don't know why I was doing it either. I was just young and stupid. So, like, we're kissing. And then we move to the super gross bed. And my clothes start coming off. And I go to take off his shirt. And he goes, no, I want to leave it on. I'm like, oh, okay. And, like, if someone is body conscious, that's fine. Just say it. But I would like to point out that I was completely naked on his bed at this point, and he had taken off his shoes. I mean, that alone was like a triple red flag. Like, what was I doing? Like, oh. Do you know when you just want to go back in time and slap younger you really hard and say, go home? That's what I want to do right now. Right, we're on the bed. He is fully clothed on top of me. I am completely naked under him. And we're kissing and touching and all this kind of stuff. Why am I telling this? Okay, so then he starts to like move down. And I'm like, oh, this is the first time a boy has ever gone down on me. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And so then he gets down there. And he blows on it. Like that's all he does. Yeah. Yeah. And look, I don't mean to sound mean about it. Like, I'm sure, you know, he was inexperienced, he probably read it somewhere. But you don't know disappointment until that happens to you. And like, I didn't say anything. Like most women, I just made, ooh, oh, yeah, noises, okay, until he came back up. Now, one point when he was down there, he did ask, oh, you like that? 18-year-old me just went, yeah, I did. Like, I had goosebumps, but that's because I was cold. Okay, so then he comes back up, And like we're kissing and touching and all that kind of stuff. And then he kind of comes to a dead stop and he kind of gets up a bit and he just goes, "No, this is weird. You're Phil's little sister. I think you should leave now." Yeah, yeah. So I had to get up, get my clothes together, and then walk to get my bus home. And that was it. That's all the explanation I ever got. Never got any closure. No, no, nothing. Nothing. He actually completely stopped talking to me after that. I was devastated. I was mortified. I felt ashamed. I was just all the feelings. Like I was already an emo. So like this was just heightened emotion. Never got like a full explanation. Just, it was weird because I know your brother. I'm like, well, if it was weird, why'd you text me first? Hmm? Hmm? Oh, no answer. Oh, yeah, yeah. Now, as devastated as I was that all went that way, a few years later, I was talking to his then girlfriend, who I actually got along really well with. Now his ex-girlfriend, and she is happily engaged to somebody else. Oh, shock. But we were talking, and she told me that Joe had said to her one day, "Hey, I'd really like it if we could have like an open relationship. I want to kind of sleep with other people." Yeah, that's a thing you should say to your girlfriend like that. And she was like, well, no, I don't want to sleep with other people. Like, who do you even want to sleep with? And he says, well, like your friend Paula. Yeah, that's right. He gave a name. He gave a specific name. Like, look, if you want an open relationship, sit down and have that conversation. But he didn't. He just wanted a no guilt bang off of Paula. And I think, why would you give a name? Why would you like give a specific name? Like your friend. Like, why give a name? Like, I don't understand. Like, and outwardly, I was like, oh no, like that's all. Oh. On the inside, I was going, dodged a bullet. Like, whew. As unhappy as I am with the person I did lose my virginity to, at least it wasn't Joe. Because Joe's a fucking wanker. But moral of the story is, you never know what you're going to regret. Life's the dice roll. Sorry if you were looking for like a more philosophical answer. I really don't have one. Like sometimes you're excited about a boy going down on you for the first time and he just blows on it and you walk away with cystitis and no orgasm. That's just life. So those are just some of my tragic first stories. First stories are always a bit tragic. So I hope you enjoyed listening. Tell me your first stories on here, on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can find all of my social media in my link tree, in my Instagram bio. That's Cherry Love Official X. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you tune into my next podcast. So I hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy out there. Love you guys.